The end is near. Okay, that sounded a bit scary. So I have this Genshin account that I've been playing daily for over a year now. And by saving and not spending a single Primogem, I was able to accumulate 80,931 Primogems. But wait, this was 2 months ago. Since Genshin's version 4.0 came out, I did complete a lot of things, like limited Genshin events, so we actually have even more Primogems now. I'm sure some of you are wondering now, how did I get that many Primogems? Well, there's no secret, or any shortcuts. You just have to be a hoarder and never spend any Primogems. Over the course of the past year, I was able to save up to 80k, but we're still not done. You see, like the name of this series suggests, I'm currently on a road to 100k Primogems. And when I finally reach that goal, I will try to pull for a C6 5-star character. I get a lot of questions in the comments and also in my Twitch streams. Voltyea, who are you gonna pull for once you reach 100k Primos? It's a pretty good question, since I'm using my hard-earned Primogems. But I'll have to say Farina. Since she was announced to be in version 4.2, I should be able to obtain the rest of my Primogems needed in 4.1 just in time to pull for C6. Since it's been around 2 months, I did a lot of things in the meantime to get my Primogems up. There was a combat event all the way back in version 3.8, where we basically just had to fight the enemies in the domain. With our limited team comp, this was a challenge to get through. But ultimately, my Hyper Bloom team with Lisa reigned supreme, and we were able to get through this event. We got around 400 Primogems as well, so that was really nice. With Genshin's Fontaine update, I was also able to start exploring a new region. Since we could get Lynette for free, I also just swam around with her underwater. We came across this cavern with some hydro puzzles, and we had to put out all the campfires. Shincho came in handy as my hydro character, and after lighting up all the hydro elemental monuments, the cave was filled up with water, and we had to fight a giant crab. In the beginning, I had no idea what I was doing. What? And suffered a lot of damage. What? Once I learned to counter the crab's attacks, I was able to defeat it in the end, and quickly grab the chest. Since it's a new region, Fontaine had a lot of chests for us to collect, so it was definitely good for us. Next, we also started a world quest in Fontaine. We had to explore the underwater region as well, so we came across a few chests. There were some underwater waypoints as well that we had to unlock for some extra primos, and also some challenges we had to complete. But yeah, this world quest definitely rewarded us with a good amount of Primogems. Difficulty-wise, besides me still getting used to the underwater mechanics for Fontaine, the enemies that we had to face were not really that hard, and we could just defeat them with the Hyper Bloom team comp. In the end, we had to face an unkillable Ruin Grader, who was definitely annoying with its spinning Beyblade attack. Fortunately for us, we could just break the glass wall and escape the enemies underwater. After that, we basically completed the world quest and were rewarded with 40 Primogems in the end. So the reason why we had to complete the world quest was because of the main 4.0 flagship event in Fontaine. There were certain parts that were underwater that we had to complete the quest in order to access, so it was pretty nice to get the quest out of the way. Anyways, this whole event took place in Fontaine, and we had to speak to a bunch of NPCs for the majority of the story. This event, however, is honestly one of the most important for me to complete on this account. Besides all the Primogems we could earn from completing the mini-games, we could also get one of the strongest characters in the game for free, which was Bennett. So yeah, once we get him, he'll definitely play a huge part for me on this account. There were also a lot of different combat parts of the event, and the event was also pretty generous, since the enemies also dropped their respective materials after we killed them. The other minigame was kinda like a rhythm game, and we just had to whack the slimes to score combos. On top of that, there were also a lot of Primogems that we could obtain from completing the event as well. And after completing the majority of the event, and defeating a bunch of enemies in Fontaine, we could collect the event rewards. And finally, I was able to obtain Bennett. Pog moment, yeah. Took me a while, but I got him. Got the most OP character in the game. Luckily, I pre-farmed for Bennett, so I was able to max him instantly. And also got his talent level up as well. Alright, now it's finally time for some co-ops. I invited a few people from my Twitch streams to help me fight some bosses, and just beat up some crabs in general. We also went to farm the new talent materials in Fontaine. This domain is actually pretty hard on this account, so co-oping with others definitely made it more doable. I also went to complete some weekly bounties in Inazuma and fast Sparky the Electro Lava Troll. I'm literally glitched. Wow, wonder you just call yourself worthless. Okay, I died as well. I couldn't get out of that. It was like snipers sniping me from somewhere else. I don't even know where. And after that, we also farmed for some artifacts and fought some dual bishops. Our team was able to make quick work of them, and I was able to deplete my resins. Next, we also went to beat up Azdaha. Well, actually, it's me that got stepped on. Ow, ow. No! Where is Kokomi at? I'm scared. Please hold me. No, I'm gonna die. Wow! Luckily, my team was able to carry me through, so it all worked out in the end. After that, we went to challenge the Scaramouche weekly boss, and it started out pretty well. During the second phase, it was a completely different story, however. Okay, I can't break any of these. I don't have any pyro characters. Nobody has a pyro character as well. Thankfully, I didn't die the whole fight, and we were able to complete a boss. But yeah, as always, I do Genshin co-ops pretty much every stream. So if you ever want to join me, make sure to follow my Twitch channel and come say hi. And thanks to everyone that helped me in co-op. Anyways, since I was able to explore Voltyea for a good amount, I was able to farm up enough materials to ascend Lynette as well. When I first began this road to 100k account, one of my goals besides trying to get 100k Primogems is that I also wanted to clear the Abyss. Now that we finally got Bennett, we're almost ready to challenge it again, and hopefully clear floor 12 this time. Now everything is burn journey, I can't even do anything. Okay, I gotta just finish it off with Kaya, I guess. Hope my Kaya doesn't die. Oh, no, I can't. What? Before that, I went to fish for a new Voltyea sword. Since we couldn't wish at all, this new sword is actually pretty good for Bennett. And after a few hours of fishing, I was able to obtain the pipe weapon. But yeah, special shoutouts to people in my Discord for letting me in their world to steal the fishes. Anyways, after I leveled up the weapon, it is finally time for me to challenge the Spiral Abyss. After Voltyea, we got a completely different Abyss for floor 9. I brought my Vaporized Melt team in the first half, and it wasn't really that hard. The second half, I brought a Hyper Room team with me, and it was as reliable as always. The second chamber had some Oceanid Mimics and other enemies that were perfect for my new Bennett and Xiangling's Pyro combo. There were also some new mecha enemies as well, but they weren't really that difficult. The second half consists of a lot of Pyro Slimes, but our team was able to get through the chamber. The final chamber was a bit more challenging, and the enemies here were a bit tanky, but my team was stronger, so we prevailed. The second half had a few F2p agents, and Lisa actually died. But even without her, we were still able to complete floor 9 and got all 9 stars. Floor 10 was actually easier than floor 9. Even though the enemies' level were higher, they just felt easier compared to floor 9. In the second half, I just did my standard Hyper Boom rotation and cleared it pretty easily. Chamber 2 was filled with specters. Even though we didn't have any animal characters to group the enemies together, it was pretty easy. The second half only had 3 enemies, and we were able to take care of them pretty quick. The final chamber also only had 3 enemies, and after I unleashed all my bursts, they all evaporated. On the other side, we only had to deal with 2 Ruin Graders, and Hyper Boom was all it took for them to go down. So far we got all 9 stars from floor 9 and floor 10, but starting on floor 11, this probably won't go so well. The first chamber was a monolith defense, where we had to basically defend the monolith from the enemies' attacks. They're kind of attacking us very ruthlessly. Even though I brought Faruzan to attempt to group them up, it was still pretty hard. I tried a different team with Lynette, but I still lost a star before I could get through the first half. How do you pull the enemy's aggro to me? I actually don't know. I'm pretty sure there's a thing you could do, maybe. But they seem more interested in the monolith than me, so can't really do anything about it, right? The second half had a bunch of cryo enemies. Okay, just give me 1 star, please. That's enough. 1 star? I'll be happy. No stars? I'll be kinda salty. Because then I'll need 3 stars on both chambers to get it. The enemies here were really attracted to the monolith. Well, another one spawned. That just keeps on attacking this one. I'm at 20% now. They were not cooperating in general. Oh, I lost my 1 star. Oh well. We had to complete the first chamber with 0 stars. The second chamber returned to normal with a timed challenge. And it was easier with the crabs not really doing any damage to us. The 2 Sparkies that spawned were a bit tougher, but Hyper Boom was still able to carry us through. For the second half, it was just another day for our Kaya team, and we were able to freeze the enemies and melt them at the same time to deal with them. For the final chamber, we had to group the enemies up and just defeat them together. The samurais were a bit tricky, but we got lucky towards the end. If I don't kill them both together, then they'll restart and then it'll be very messy. No! Oh, okay, he died. In the second half, there was a Primogems Bishop boss who took forever to stand up. Okay, how fast can I kill this boss? I have 1 minute. Stand up! I'm mouthing fighting this boss, okay? I can't help it. It wastes too much time. After unleashing all my bursts, we were able to deal good damage, but time was running out. 30 seconds. This was a pretty intense fight, racing against time to get 3 stars. Alright, Xiangling got a burst back? Okay. I think I'm good. I hope so. But we managed to pull through. Wow, okay. This is why I use Bennett and Xiangling. They're both OP. Even though my Xiangling is only C0, she's still very good. Now it's finally time for the ultimate challenge in floor 12 to see if we can finally clear the Spiral Abyss. I brought a Hyper Fridge comp that consists of Kaya for the first half, and against the Magu Kenki, it was pretty good. We quickly phased it and continued to chase the boss around. Even though it took us longer than I wanted, I was able to defeat the first boss. The second half started off with the Hydro Eidolon enemies. I used Lynette's national team to see how it fares, and the Pyro combo was able to deal good damage. Even though the first wave of enemies here were immune to Hydro, Shijo could still reduce damage and heal us to keep us alive. Next, we had to fight a bunch of random enemies. Do you think Spinner will be good here? Yeah. I'm just glad I have one, actually. Without C0 Bennett, I'm pretty sure I couldn't beat this thing. They were quite tanky, but we were still able to clear the first chamber. The second chamber was probably the hardest challenge I had to face. Okay, this is the floor I hate the most. The crab. This Hyper Fridge team isn't really the best team against the crab, but that's all I got. Okay. This kind of works. That's it? That's a whole Denzo application time? But this is basically a battle of stamina. The second, I don't think I ever reached the second half before. Barbara was also the only Hydro character that I could bring here. So it was pretty tricky destroying the crab's shield. On top of that, the crab also had a lot of HP, which makes this the hardest boss we had to face thus far on this account. I don't know if the burst will do anything. Like, the crab just stands up way too quickly. It should have like a stun time for the longer. Okay. I'm doing Burger now. See? What? The crab is already standing up. To make things worse, it also drops some kind of lava on the ground. And if we touch it, we take continuous damage. I don't think I've ever gotten a chance to Hyper Bloom it. Because my skills were on cooldown every time. Okay. See? It also immediately burns if it touches that thing. So maybe I'll just rely on Kaya's attack. Okay, whatever. And to add even more insult to injury, the crab also does this. Seriously? Wasting time? After around 4 minutes of fighting a boss, we could finally defeat it. What? Seriously? It didn't even do that much. Just kidding. The crab literally beat me up and I had to restart afterwards. So I tried again. What? Just give me a chance to beat this, okay? That's all I'm asking. I actually want to see what the second half has in store for us. No. On my third attempt, I got back to the point where I initially died at. And things were still very hard. What? That did so much damage? Marisa is literally like vulnerable in 2 hits. With just 6 minutes left, the crab also decided to take a vacation to waste even more time. There's only 6 minutes left. Do I have enough time for the entirety of second half against those balls? I don't know what else is there, but those are only enemies I know. In 6 minutes to kill this thing. No! Whatever. There were also some pretty close calls. If I die again, then I think I'll rage quit. Literally 4 minutes for second half. I don't even know if I have enough time. Can't even drop my Gentle Traveler thing here. Nope, explodes immediately. See? They just got eaten. But ultimately, we were able to defeat a crab for the first time. So now we have around 5 minutes to beat the entirety of the second half. Or else we'll fail and all that suffering will be all for naught. Okay, I have Xiangling here, so maybe I have enough faith in myself. I can beat it. I just want to avoid getting killed by those ball things. That's it. I think those are the scariest things. Enemies here don't really scare me besides the ball. Maybe the scorpion as well. But I'm in a very big time crunch as well, so hopefully I have enough time. Nope, so spread out. Like, why don't I just get together so I can actually kill them all at once? The enemies in floor 12 hits really hard. So we had to both try to defeat this chamber on time and try not to die. The balls were a pain to deal with, and things got very bad. No, I don't want to die. Luckily, the neck could destroy the shields pretty efficiently, but time was also running out. I don't want to fight a crab again. Ow. At least everyone is still alive. Okay, 2 more minutes. They're giving me a pretty hard time right now. I might run out of time though. The crab took way too long. With the final minute mark, things were getting very tense. But there were still lights at the end of a tunnel. I'm just spamming everything I got. Okay, I didn't have time, yeah. Good. However, the ball was still very thick, so things almost went wrong. I want to save my burst for the 12th chamber. So, I might be a little bit greedy. But hopefully it doesn't come back to bite me. Almost there. Okay. The final chamber of this abyss started out with some Voltyea enemies. I don't have any bursts up right now, so this might be a little bit painful. They also had a lot of HP, but Hyper Bloom was able to carry us. Okay, get together. Nice. Now I can kind of deal damage to 2 of them at once. After defeating the 3 enemies, we had to fight the mechas. Robo guys will spawn after this. Okay, Robo guys are pretty easy. Ow. Ow. What? How am I getting hit? The Hyperfish team did what a team does the best. We basically froze the enemies and just Hyper Bloom them to deal good damage. But I got a bit too confident. And the reason why my damage is probably high is because of Hyper Bloom. Lisa is the one that's doing the damage. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Hello.
Okay. At least you don't have to restart everything, right? The second time around went by way smoother, and we were able to defeat the enemies here. I'm pretty confident in myself now. Should be able to clear this if everything goes right. The second half had the ballerina bosses from Voltyea, but I had a perfect team to deal with them. The good thing about this is I can just do this. Then I can just break the shield with her elemental skill, so I don't really have to worry about the shield that much, even if without any pyro characters. I'm pretty sure I practiced a lot in here, so I should be good. The rest of the battle was basically just a survival test, and since we still had a bunch of time left, all we had to do was to stay alive and finish off the boss. Okay. That's pretty good. With the Abyss completed, I finally completed another goal that I initially set when starting out on this account. Over the course of 2 months, we did a lot of exploration and finished the events. So we were able to accumulate a good amount of Primogems as well. So now let's check our Primogem count after completing all of the events from 4.0. 91,855. We're finally at the end of our journey. And with me almost reaching the end, I hope you all enjoyed this series. There were many ups and downs in general, but thanks to this series, I was also able to try out all kinds of characters that I wouldn't normally use. And over time, learn to appreciate them more. My next episode might be the end. Since with 4.1 coming out, there will be a lot of Primogems for me to earn. Just so you know, I plan on hitting my goal of 100,000 Primogems live on my stream as well. So make sure to come by in the coming weeks to see me achieve it live. Also, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future updates, and I'll see you at the finish line.